You learn how to do it yourself, be your own label so you can actually make money. Obviously, you have some illegal side hustle that's going to catch up with you. And then you're going to be one of these guys who just gets shot and you're dead when you're in your
Right.
early 20s, or you go to jail, your life is over. Like, or it's a lot more difficult if you're in jail. Little Durk. And then Pooh Shiesty, which I said totally wrong when you were out of the room, by the way, in the intro. I'm just going to get destroyed later, but that's okay. So I think even in Pooh Shiesty's video, we see Little Durk. So why don't we start with Little Durk and then we'll do the next one. And you'll see, and I think I even call it out. I'm like, these videos look like they're produced by the same company. Isn't this the same company? But it is. All right, so this is Little Durk, Ahhh, official music video. Later on in the lyrics, he's saying, but go get your gun. And I'm getting locations. And so I'm kind of taking it to mean not so much of don't escalate it, but more of you don't need to respond. Don't use your words, use your actions. And now we're going to go deal with this kind of like on the street. That's like mom's advice right there. Children, don't use your fists, right? Use your words.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And a lot of times that does work. A lot of times it doesn't, though.
Yeah. Yeah. But then this goes back to the whole, you're trying to get street cred, right? It's kind of part of just this process for, some of these artists kind of going down this path. And so it seems like the right of entry is committing crimes and then talking about it, right?
Right.
We've talked about this with the Rap Act, right? And not
Right.
to go into it too far, but basically, prosecutors can then use your lyrics against you. Okay.
And
And so the Rap Act hopes to prevent prosecutorial use of lyrics against you. There are some exceptions, but they're trying.
that's a complicated issue because everything seems to be just working against like hip hop artists and stuff like that and different rappers. Um, a lot of the arguments, you don't hear any of these rock guys going to jail
Right.
for their lyrics or stuff like that. And I go, well, if you have a country artist that gets in a DUI accident and he sings about drinking, I don't know, use it against him. I don't know. My point is, I think that you should just be careful of what you're saying. I think that just in lyrics anyway, you just don't want to draw attention to yourself. But I understand it's way more complicated than even I understand. So, but it just seems just kind of like common sense. Like, just stop self-snitching and stop snitching on like your crew and your songs just for your own street clout, and you're naming other people in your crew. Like, you're just diming them out. Like, we know where the leak is in the crew. Like, when we know where the leak is. You just dropped the song. You just told on everybody and kind of, I don't know.
And so that goes to kind of the intent of he's going to go somewhere, he's going to do something, and intent definitely plays into the degree of seriousness of a charge that will be brought later on. Yeah, and that's what they're saying with the Rap Act. They're like, just because, you get someone for killing someone, and then the prosecutor comes in and says, look, Your Honor, look, jury, right? He's a killer because in his lyrics, he says he's a killer. And the idea is
That's
that
dumb.
we would say general kind of admissions, right? Painting a picture that this is a criminal guy or he hangs around criminals should not be used. But obviously direct admissions, I killed Tony at this time using this gun. I mean, obviously there can't be a complete exclusion, because on the other side of it, they're saying, let's not protect these guys. If they're going to go commit crimes and talk about it in their music, let them fall.
I think it's super dangerous. Now, I think that if, somebody that's trying to prosecute these rappers are just using a song and going, well, this is what the evidence that I have, and I'm just trying to go after these guys because they're saying it. That's ridiculous. I mean, that's just ridiculous that you would even try to base anything on a piece of art. But if you are just using it to add to like a character witness, or like a character kind of assessment of, the defendant or something like that, and go, well, also he raps about it, and just like to add to it where he said anything, but like you're not using that as your solid piece of evidence that you are hanging your case on.
Up next, we're going to look at Pooh Shiesty featuring Lil Durk, and this is Back in Blood. This is another one of the very popular videos that you guys liked when we did Lawyer Reacts. So here we go. I'm looking at what everyone is wearing in this video. I'm looking at the cash. I mean, Lil Durk's chain alone is probably incredibly expensive. I'm wondering, is that because of a side hustle that these guys are into? Is this because the music career for each of them is incredibly profitable, which it absolutely can be. It's crazy. And that's when this conversation about when you do deals with record labels and record labels coming in and taking the majority share of your profits. But I mean, again, going back to this, there's a lot of money to be made if you can kind of grow your career the right way. That's right. And that, my friends, is literally the whole spiel on the channel and what I do. You learn how to do it yourself, be your own label so you can actually make money. Obviously, you have some illegal side hustle that's going to catch up with you. And then you're going to be one of these guys who just gets shot and you're dead when you're in your
Right.
early 20s, or you go to jail, your life is over. Like, or it's a lot more difficult if you're in jail. I literally had one of my clients have his significant other email me this week, and she goes, "Hey, do you remember blah, 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 blah? He's in prison right now and he wants to have a meeting with you. He started his label," which I love. So, it's not all over. I should correct that. We will make things happen for him. But in any case, do it the right way. Become your own business. I have a course on it. Links down somewhere. But I think there's a lot to be learned from these videos. What's the best way to market yourself if you aren't signed? Now, using, King Von, Lil Durk, right? All of the people kind of, collaborating in this group. A lot of what's working for them is obviously being a part of the controversy, the drama, right? We have gang issues going on. But if you're kind of outside of that, I don't know why I just thought of Will Smith. I'm like, you're a Will Smith rapper, like trying to come up, and you got to get yourself promoted by figuring out how it's going to work for you. So if controversy and calling out other artists isn't your thing, that's okay. But then you have to still find your way. And sometimes doing that will be just being your genuine self, right? Niching down and having content and just pumping it out. My first question to you, who asked the question, Miss Queen Butterfly, is how much content are you putting out, right? And that's how many posts per day and how many platforms and how much variety, right? Are you doing one post a week on like 2 platforms, or are you doing like 2 posts every day across like 5 different platforms? So it's kind of like in figuring out how to market yourself, you got to figure out what works for you and what you want to do. And then you got to just go big. Volume makes the difference with social media. Posting as much as possible. And then as soon as you find that sweet spot of what people are responding to, you can start kind of doubling down.